beginner's guide to writing chart crochet. Okay, and I'm using pencil to do it. Okay, I gotta make
using pencil.
Okay. And so I'm using pencil and paper, and so, okay, I'm gonna make my circle right here. I'm not sure if I can pull this off on pencil. Sometimes I just tend to go too much. So this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this is the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is probably helpful to do it like this. Okay, so then I can, and I'm making them larger. Okay, so this is the double crochet. This is how I've always done it. This is how I write my patterns. Double crochet, double crochet, and the abbreviation is also DC. So this is the formula. This is the formula with the crochet. Some people call it a recipe. I call it a pattern. I call it a pattern. Okay, so we are working on this one right here. We're writing up the pattern. And so we've got to put a little dot right here. This is the slip stitch. This is what I call the slip stitch. And so then over here in the formula, this is the key. I call it the key. You can call it whatever you want to, but I call it the key. So slip stitch is this little thing. It looks like a period. Slip stitch, slip stitch, and then SLST is the abbreviation. So this is how we write up the patterns, just like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off right here. So this is just like I'm crocheting with pencil. And so I'm going to start off with 1, 2, 3, just like that. Each one of these are individual double crochet. And then I did 1, 2, 3 chains. Now it's going to be easier for me to do them. I know they look elongated. I'm making them elongated because otherwise I run out of room, and then it's hard to actually see what I'm doing with writing the patterns. I used to do this on the computer in Photoshop. That is time consuming. This is quite a bit faster than doing it in Photoshop. 1, 2, 3. And so it's just chicken scratch is what those of us old-fashioned people call it. And doing it on paper and pencil this way, this is how I wrote a lot of my patterns down. When I had an inspiration for something, this is how I knocked it out really, really fast, just like this, just like I get it out of my brain. And this is the snowflake that we're working on right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're done here. And so where did I end at? Right here. So I've got to put a little thing here to do a slip stitch, because otherwise people don't know that they're supposed to connect it together, or they just have like, they end up with just, I'm not sure how they get their work done to complete the snowflake. They complete it, but they have like a big rip here in the side of the snowflake somehow. They completed it, but they just have a big hole there. And so I don't know, maybe they're just trolling. That's what I'm beginning to think, they're just trolling. Okay, so this is the first part. You can make something out of this if you want to. Okay, now we're gonna move on to, okay, so what I did was a slip stitch. So we do 1, 2 slip stitches, 1, 2 right here, or you can just skip over and do 1, however you want to do it. Let's put this up here close so you can see. You see that? Okay. And so I put in here R1. That's for round 1. Round 1. R1 is round 1. Okay. And so we are right here. So what I did a chain 1, and then I did 1, 2, 3 double crochet, just like this. 1, 2, 3. And so they have the 2 on here. Double crochet is 1, 2. So there's like 2 hash marks on them. That's why I like this reference. For me, it makes the most sense and always has in the, how long have I crocheted? Crocheted since 1982. In 43 years that I've crocheted. I think it's 43 if I do my math right. I'm probably wrong somehow. For something like that. Okay, so I do another set of 1, 2, 3, just like this. 1. So this depicts 2. Now what I did, now I have a big gap in here. And so now what I did this morning, I added in 3 loops. 3 loops in here. Okay, so so what I did was 3 chains. Let's see if I can, I hope I have enough room. This worked out. When I set this down here like this, it actually worked out, surprisingly. So I did my hole here and then the chains around. This seems to be working. And so that way it's going to fit on the paper just like it fits here. So it's probably going to be close to size. I'm not going to say completely accurate, but so I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 clusters here. This is messing up already. I can see that. This part is already messing up because what we have is 3 sets of chain clusters. How am I going to depict this? I don't know how I'm going to depict this because it works on the crochet thing. Well, maybe we can do it like that, and then we'll do 1 in the center. 1, 2, 3. Okay. But it doesn't look like that. It actually looks like this. But in order to depict all 9 loops, there's 3 loops, slip stitch, 3 loops, slip stitch, 3 loops, slip stitch is what they are. And I believe I slipped, so there's 3, technically there's 3 sets of slip stitches, I think, in here is what I did. And so then they're close together like this. But in the pattern, this is how patterns work. In the pattern, though, they're spread out so you can see the instructions. That's why it's confusing to people sometimes. I know it was to me. Written instructions are worse than this. They are worse than this. Written instructions in books and magazines are terrible. You know, so it's just some people who wrote the patterns up, and they said they pattern tested them, but a lot of times most of them had mistakes in them in the old-fashioned days. Okay, so now what I did was a chain 1 and then a slip stitch down here. So we have space here. So do you see the space? We've got space here so we can see the chart instructions. And so I'm going to put that up here, C-H-A-R-T, for the crochet snowflake. Let's write this out. Crochet snowflake. Okay. Okay, so now, okay, so let me see if I can depict this better this time. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times to try to get it right here. So I'm going to see if I can maybe get one of them that looks close, and we'll see what I come up with. Either I come up with it or I don't. I know what I'm doing. As long as it makes sense to me. You know, this is just neither here nor there. Because I know I have 3 slip stitches. All 3 of them are in this stitch right here. I know that 3 slip stitches will fit here because I did it right here. And so that's how we do it. We cinch them all together, and that's what's taking place right here, is cinching them all together. Even though it's spread out here, they're all cinched up together. And so you might look at the chart and you say, well, how are we going to end up with that? It's like, okay, work through it. And the end result is going to be like the picture. You can actually take a pattern. I can't tell you how many patterns I have taken from from the actual written instructions. I look at them on the internet. That's why I love artificial intelligence images that people have put out for probably since I've been on YouTube, because I look at them, they're AI pictures, and I can make something from them. You know, so their images may not be completely accurate, but I can look at them and I can read what they have done. And so that's why I find it kind of funny for people to say, oh, you're taking something that someone else has done. If it's AI making the picture or someone making it in AI that's come from NASA or from DARPA or from the deep web, who am I stealing it from? Or is AI sharing it? That's the question I want to ask. You know, so okay, so let's go over here. If AI is making the pictures and we can make some artwork from it, so it's just a prototype. AI does prototypes. So it's just a prototype, kind of like they have big fancy cars that are prototypes of something. You look at it and then you create something, you can create something close to it. If you're willing to go this far, you know, to make your patterns, or you can just do whatever you want to do. You know, you can stay at a level where you want to stay. Nobody says anybody has to do anything more than what they're comfortable doing. And so, yeah, that the copyright thing for crochet just got horrific at the beginning of YouTube. It just got really terrible, especially with the people from Australia. They were overbearing and they were rude and obnoxious, and you know, those on Facebook, they were horrible. Okay, so I've got one here. That one looks pretty decent right there. So I'm going to go up here like this, over here like this, and down here like this. Oh my gosh, okay, I see what I can do. I can actually, this next one, I don't know if I can spread my stitches out a little bit more. I get so excited when I get close to maybe being able to get some instructions that kind of look more like the picture. So we've got there's 3 slip stitches here, and they're all in this stitch right here. Okay, now we've got going down this direction. We've got a slip stitch down here. So it goes down here. That's where the slip stitch is. Okay, so the little arrow is just pointing down there to the slip stitch. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and make 1, 2, 3, like this, the chart crochet, and then they are spread out. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and this is a whole lot faster than Photoshop. I was just trying to make them look professional because people were critiquing my crochet and, oh, when are you going to start doing professional content? Well, okay, let me see if I can make them bigger. I'm going to make them bigger here, bigger loops. And let's see if bigger loops is helpful. One. Okay, let's do another one. 1, 2, 3. I ran myself out of room. I got to have 3 of them. Okay, how am I going to do it? Let me, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat here. Okay, slip stitch, let's do, this is going to look more like the piqué though, because, alrighty, that's it. That's the ticket right there. But I don't know how to depict this down here, all 3 of them. So me explaining it, I'm hoping that it makes sense. All 3 of them go into this stitch right here. So all 3 of the piqué, which is this thing, goes down into this stitch right here. This looks more accurate right here than these do. But in order to spread them out and to indicate that they're all a set of, there's 3 sets of 3. We have 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the double crochet, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the double crochet, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the double crochet, which we get something then that looks like this. So we can see it in the end work here. Isn't that pretty cool? Okay, and this is what I always said, I'm engineering something. I'm engineering something. Okay, so now we work a chain and then slip stitch down here. And then we work another chain. I think I forgot my chain on some of them. Did I forget the chain over? Yeah, see right here, I even forgot the chain. Right here, I forgot the chain. So I do forget the chain even on here. I sometimes forget the other chain on the opposing side. That's okay though, because snowflakes in real life are not perfect now, are they? Okay, I just realized here I have some questions. Ram, something or another says, where are you from? I'm from the planet Earth. Where are you from? Are you from the planet Earth too? Okay, so now I am doing 1, 2, 3, like this, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm doing my sets. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Now I don't actually go through this chain. I go around the chain is what I do. Okay, so let me do my 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I kind of like this depiction better because this is actually how it ends up looking, even though they're kind of all squished together. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm getting a little bit better here. I need to give myself just a tiny bit more room. Okay, so now we've got a chain goes down here, and then a chain that goes up here like this. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And then we've got, I'm going to make them exaggerated long chains is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to hope that this will work. We're exaggerating the length of them and elongating them for the purposes of demonstration purposes to try to get, this might be the ticket maybe, let's see here. Yeah, that's actually getting a little bit better. Because this is what it looks like, and then this is kind of what it looks like too. So if I want to do all of them, now sometimes what happens is, now see these are 3 slip stitches here. Now sometimes what happens is, did everybody get bored and leave? Oh my gosh, did I bore you guys to death? It seems so. Hello, Phil Davis. Okay, did you guys get bored? Okay, so I'm doing 1, 2, 3, and then we're doing 1, 2, 3. So I'm on my last set here, and you can see how it looks very, very close. They look very, very close together to the same, because the instructions are the same. And I'm going to be able to understand this chicken scratch here. So right here I am working on round 2, so I need to put an R2 in here. So I have R1 and R2. So I use the R because it can be round 1 or row 1. This is a round because they're connected. That's the meaning of round, is connection. Row is one direction. So round is connection, row is one direction, and then you turn and you go in the opposite direction. Now we can do, now technically a round is a row. So we can do rows in rounds and rounds in rows. It just works out that way just because it does. And so, okay, so let me do this. I need to make an elongated, even though it may not be as elongated on here. We're depicting this for the chart purposes. Okay. Oh, I might have made that one too fat. Okay, so we're doing one up here, and then here. Okay, so 1, 2. Now, crochet people are fully going to understand this. Okay. Oh, did I hit it on this last one? I sure might have made them large enough. Did I? I did. I think I did. I made it big enough on this last one. I am so proud of myself for this. Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to, see, for me, I'm going to understand this because they all go in here. Other people may not understand this, but the arrow means all 3 of these go in here. And then we cinch them together. They all get cinched together, and then they're all connected right there at the center. Like that. And so do you see how it just fits in there nice? Look at that! It fits in there just perfect. So we got our snowflake, our crochet snowflake chart. Do you see how slick that is? How easy it works out? To make it, to writing, and I spend less time. I would have had this done, but I just took a little extra time to explain it to you guys who want to learn how to make crochet charts. You know, so we covered the formula, the pattern of the chart crochet snowflake here. And so this is the double T is the double crochet. And what else oh, we didn't include the chain. So this equals chain, and the abbreviation is CH. And so then so I would do the key and I would include the abbreviation. So we would have abbreviations. So DC is for double crochet, SLST is for slip stitch, and CH was for chain. If you needed to write in shorthand. Now, I tended to like to write, well, you know what? If I had a lot of repetition and it was a very challenging pattern, I would start using a lot of shorthand because it was repeating the same thing over and over again. So the thing I'm going to say with this one is we can just take a slice. So you can actually, instead of writing the whole pattern out like this one's short, this one's small. But with the larger patterns, you can do a slice. And that's what you see in a lot of magazines, is you see a slice of the pattern because it's all repetitive. So everything repeats over and over again. Which is why you see a slice of the pattern, because you don't need to put the whole pattern out. So the thing is you just go back to the area once you've completed the additional row that makes it expand. So right here, what we have is an expansion in the round. So let's look at round 1. We've got 3 double crochet, a chain 3, and 3 double crochet. Now we expand in this chain 3 by making 3 double crochet, then 3 I didn't put them in there. Let me put them in there too while I'm thinking about it. But I'm going to say we've got 3 sets of 3 piqué stitches and then 3 double crochet, which causes it to fan out so it lays down flat. Okay, so over here, let's see, let me draw 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 chains. It looks kind of like a peacock. The P-I-C-O-K. It's called a piqué. It's pronounced piqué even though it's spelled peacock. I know, it doesn't make any sense to me either. It makes no sense to me either why it's spelled peacock. But we pronounce it piqué. It just is. Well, I think if we put this little thing right there, then it sounds foreign or something. Piqué. I just call them loops. Loops. 3 loops makes more sense to me than a piqué. Most people are going to know what a loop is. Most other people are not going to know what a piqué is. And so it's confusing. So maybe I just need to call it loops. So 3 chain loops. C-H-L-O, chlo. 3 chain loops, something like that. You know, for crocheters, if you're passionate about this stuff, you're going to understand it, you're going to learn it, it's going to make sense to you. And so these are the patterns that typically I work from when I'm writing something up and I want to figure something out. And so I look at it, I can look at it on the screen. And that's why I know that people who tell me that I am taking something from someone else, they're full of crap, you know, related to copyright, because nobody owns these stitches. You know, I mean, someone can say, oh, that's in my book, and they can cry and have a hissy fit. Well, you know what? Their publisher is going to have to show that I own their book. Doesn't their publisher have to show that I own their book? Because if they haven't published their book on the internet for people to look at, then where is the pattern coming from? You know, I mean, so there's only a limited, this whole thing right here should be public domain. This right here should be public domain because this pattern has been repeated. This pattern has been repeated. I guarantee it. I guarantee you, long before I was born, these patterns have been done. I guarantee you. And so that's why I am all for, what do we call it? I mean, First Amendment of crochet or something like that, because these people these book authors, you guys go off someplace else on your own planet and leave us on YouTube alone. Just leave us alone and let us do what we're going to do. And stop telling us that we're stealing your patterns, because I think that's the only way you guys can get someone to look at your books, is if you rage bait us on YouTube, because that's the thing that I'm going to say is the ones from Australia. What was their pattern? There was some from Australia. There was one woman from Australia, and she said that I stole the wheel. I'm going to do the wheel stitch later. I am going to do the wheel stitch so you guys see how it's done. I'm going to give it to you for free. Everything that I'm doing here is for free. I'm not getting paid right now, and this is how I started my original YouTube channel, was doing things like this. Only I wasn't doing as advanced. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call these advanced. I was doing the advanced in the privacy of my own home. I just wasn't putting it on YouTube. We didn't have long form then, so I just did shorter things. And, you know, so I don't have a publisher. I don't have a book author. I'm not part of a network. And so the networks are the problem. They're a thorn in the side of people on YouTube right now. I'll tell you that right now. They're a huge thorn in the side of people on YouTube, you know, related. And I'll say the same thing for people who sing music. I've always raised that argument. I'm not an attorney, I'm going to tell you that right now, but I've raised the argument of fair use and public domain related to music, and how you can have any set of notes, and under YouTube's content ID, it's going to get caught up for some other music artist, and then you have the legacy media music artists that are coming down hard on individual music artists on YouTube with the with some type of copyright claim. Heck, I had CNN actually claiming on my videos of things that I made. So it was something like this that I had made on my original YouTube channel, and CNN did a little news article about it, and they recorded from the computer screen. And I'm the one who ended up with a copyright on my own content because CNN stole it without my permission or even telling me. Because they thought they could. And it's like, so you guys are getting paid for what I made, and my video at that time had like, I think it had about 5 million views on it. And CNN is going to steal the money from me, basically. Or that's what I felt like. I don't know if that's what happened or not. You know, so they couldn't just give me some publicity or anything like that. That's not how they work. They want all us to kiss the ass of the legacy media, and they're just a bunch of clickbait and rage bait and porn bait. You know, the conservative media is a bunch of porn. That's what I say about the GOP and the GOP politicians. They're the handmaiden political group. The GOP is the handmaiden political group. Really, I'll get that woman home she can be at home having babies, barefoot and pregnant. I have absolutely nothing nice to say about the politics in our country right now because it ain't working. It doesn't work for women. I'll tell you that right now. Now, I do enjoy doing this stuff, and I do enjoy trashing the fucking shit out of politics and your old-fashioned, goonish, thuggish ways that don't work for women. You know, we have inflation, and it's not working. So I'm not someone to just stay quiet about things, and I've actually gotten, had my civil rights violated. Let's put it that way. To put it in a kind way, my civil rights have been violated by my ex-husband and by my local community. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. And so anyway, all over, because I think somebody was threatened by what we do on YouTube. That's what I think. I still think it to this day that they were threatened by what we do on the internet. I don't see it any other way. And like someone told me this morning on my other channel, they said, well, you're still the same people, aren't you? And it's like, yeah, we're still the same people. We just have different YouTube accounts right now. We're all still the same people. We're all still doing the same things that we did. I mean, the younger generation does not think about us old people now who are headed into nursing homes, that we're going to be making our YouTube videos in nursing homes, literally, eventually one day. But there's no plan. YouTube with CEOs, they want to keep all the money for themselves. There's no plan for those of us who actually need help. And lose our incomes. We can't apply for unemployment, gig work, no unemployment. I just want to make that clear. Oh, and something else I want to say on this channel too is that Hollywood has their background staff. You guys are going to get a laughing shit out of this. Hollywood has their background staff living in mansions now. So that's the guys who might build a set or something like that. They have them living in mansions. This is the same thing as when the government put HUD housing on Wall Street and then collapsed the housing market. Hollywood is putting their background staff. This is the people who, okay, has anyone ever wondered what a key grip is? When you read through the credits of a movie, what the hell is a key grip? Is that a guy who just goes and gets some car keys or something for someone and passes it off to them, and that's his job? So they've got some talentless shill living in a mansion, and he's supposed to be able to come onto YouTube and make their business model profitable. This is the same identical thing as when the government put HUD housing onto Wall Street. Somebody put HUD housing on Wall Street and collapsed the housing market. I'm pretty positive the housing market is going to collapse again. I'll tell you that. I'm pretty positive it's going to collapse again. In fact, and the movie industry is collapsing right now, isn't it? The movie industry is collapsing. California is collapsing because they took out a bunch of loans from the banks that they can't pay back. I mean, if you guys remember, Taylor Swift always whined and cried about, oh, but we don't make enough money from YouTube to be able to go on YouTube. Well, that's because they're in a network, and I guess they're privileged. Either it's money laundering, or the banks are just favoring legacy media, which was Disney and cable TV and all that. But look what's happening now. There's a huge change in the tides and currents now, isn't there? Nobody wants to watch that same old garbage all the time. But here I am talking about it, and I do it to make a point, to raise a point of exclusion. Where they were excluding us. So the left and the right of the politics and the legacy media, both of them were excluding us. But I think that the government, when they went on the attack against legacy media, that they already knew that those of us on YouTube were excluded. So they just had to go on the attack. If it was the FBI, I don't know if it was the FBI or who it was. or if it was foreign intelligence that went against them. It very well could be foreign intelligence, because they always talked about, like with the CIA and all that, that it's, I don't know. I just think legacy media has their indoctrination so wrapped up in a cult indoctrination of what they do, that they think they're right, that they can't see beyond their own paycheck and money to see how they're harming the overall American public with inflation. I mean, because I look at inflation, it's like, okay, you're harming the future. You're harming your own children, with inflation. And the bankers, too. They have their heads so far up their wazoo. I'm surprised they haven't suffocated yet. I mean, and I really remember that, back with my original YouTube channel when we had Google Plus, someone was literally sharing pictures of some guy. It was so funny. I don't know who did this, but it's like, I tell you what, I love the guys who are making all this goofy content. It's like we just kind of share a common denominator when it comes to the goofy content when we can't get through to anybody. And so there was this guy who had his head bent over. Somehow he had it up his wazoo. It was funny. That's all I can say, is it was funny. Just like, a lot of them are funny. I mean, I'm an adult, and there's some things that I will look at and I will laugh at it because I find it funny. That doesn't mean I want it done in public. Just because I talk about something does not mean I want it done in public by some idiot who is actually committing a crime. So anyway, things just don't play out the same in public as they do on the internet, because you really do end up violating someone's civil rights when you do try to do some of this stuff out in public in real life. You do end up violating someone's civil rights. Like when you're stalking someone, you can say you're stalking someone on the internet. Well, what exactly does that mean? Now you've got all these little bratty ass kids saying that they're being harmed because someone is stalking them, even though they don't know who it is. But if it's someone who popped up to watch their video, well, what's the purpose of putting up a video if you don't get people to watch it? What is the purpose of it? That's what I keep asking. It's like, why do they put videos up and want people to watch it? And then they say, oh, well, this guy is stalking me. It's like, okay, how do you know? So you guys are just playing, you're just playing that game behind the scenes because you're part of a network. And so you guys are working behind the scenes. So it's like, okay, let's separate these two right here. So it's like, this snowflake is at one computer. This snowflake is at another computer. They're in the same studio. And so this snowflake and this snowflake is saying this snowflake is stalking them. Well, how do they know? Because they're in the same studio. That's how they know. That's the kind of game they're playing, because they want us to watch their fake content. Well, I'm going to spill the beans here for y'all right now. The fake news, everything on it is an advertisement. Absolutely everything is an advertisement for something, and they're paid to put that garbage up. And it was funny because I heard a strong message from, I read it or saw it in a video, so it was saying something about certain people sticking up for Donald Trump, and it's like, well, just because I say I agree with one thing that Donald Trump says, does that mean that I'm sticking up for him all around? Absolutely no. And I will tell you why. Because I don't agree with the abuse that he did. So what he's trying to do is save face. And when I say save face, is that he knows he's been caught red-handed. That's the only reason he ran for president, was to delay his state crimes from going to court. So when he gets done being president, then he can get sued again and taken to court again. And Longhorn Lester is right when he says, where's Stormy? Stormy has been gone. She's the one he paid off. Well, that he had Michael Cohen pay her off. That's what happened there. So anyway, that's all I have to say right now. Maybe I'm going to have to edit this video because it's a pretty darn good video. It is. It's a pretty darn good video. I guess when I just focus on just the pattern. But then, like when I was on Facebook, I do have to say this. When I was on Facebook, we had the liberal lefties who would come in and crash us on Facebook. And so that's what they were doing. So when they showed this stuff on C-SPAN about these little girls that were from the inner city and they're on there, they're like, go into all the social media places, go to every social media place and talk about politics, blah, blah, blah. That's what they were doing. So someone like me, I was seen as a conservative. They see me as a conservative because I was focusing on my craft. And it's like, okay, so are these little girls paid? Are they paid to work for the DNC? Are they paid? I mean, that's their job, is just working for the DNC and then working on social media to come and crash our groups and shred our groups all apart. I mean, because I don't want to hear your crap. I really don't. You know, I don't like either one of them. I don't like Fox News. I don't like MSDNC. I don't like any of them because the parties are a monopoly and nobody's paying me for anything. I get a big fat goose egg right here. This is my pay, 0. That looks like Saturn though. Well, same thing, right? Great big old 0. But yet they felt compelled to destroy what we were doing on the internet, and just because they can. Well, you guys told me that this is what you told me. The parties are a monopoly. Legacy media is a monopoly. And the money is a monopoly. But yet you guys just want to fight for other things that don't help benefit everyone. And you know, so, I mean, we were always awake. It's just we didn't know what to do with things, and we still don't know what to do with it because you guys have become the problem now. Legacy media is a problem. The actors and entertainers are a problem. Now, it's kind of fun watching them fall down to nothing, and that's where they're going, is, you know, they ignored us on YouTube. They absolutely ignored us on YouTube. Didn't want anything to do with us because they have their brands they work with. You know, we don't have brands. I never had a brand I worked with. I just worked for myself. I created my own business. I called myself an accidental entrepreneur. And then they steal that and they put that on TV. Like all these Disney cast members that worked for Xfinity and on NBC doing that dance show. No, you guys are full of crap. You're just stealing stuff from the internet. That's all you're doing. You know, I want to see, you know what show I want to see taken down? That's Shark Tank and American Idol and American's Got Talent. I can't wait till they're done. That and The View. I can't wait to see CNN go blank and all the rest of them, MSDNC. I can't wait for them to be taken off the air. I hope they are taken off the air. I mean, they're worthless. Someone told me I actually get more views on my main channel, which is not very big. I have less than 1,000 people. They said I get more views on my main channel than CNN actually gets on cable. That's how few people are watching them right now. And to think they're still broadcasting. How they have a license to broadcast is beyond me. But nobody's watching them is my understanding. That I actually get more views, that is hilarious. Probably pathetic, but hilarious at the same time. You know, so I feel as much about their content as they probably feel about mine. And they've not been afraid to come and tell me that they're not interested in what I do. And it's like, okay, I'm going to throw it right back at you. I'm not interested in you either. Go away. You guys can go away. Leave us alone on the internet. You go back to cable TV and you broadcast there. People aren't interested in watching you. You're so darn expensive. Nobody can afford cable TV because they keep packing in the fees upon fees upon fees. They keep packing them in and packing them in. You know, that's all subscription fees are, is paying for more employees. Did you guys know that? That's all subscription. The subscription model is paying for more employees. You know, that's causing inflation, but it's also part of the employee thing too. You know, so if you want more employees, you have to pay a subscription fee, and the American public has to do it. That's just kind of like the restaurants where they say, oh, well, if you want a waitress, you have to pay a tip. So she makes more money. We can only afford so much. So the corporations in turn want the customers to pay a tip so the waitress makes more money. And then Donald is like, oh, well, you don't have to pay cash. You don't have to pay taxes on tips. Nobody's going to notice anyway, because it really isn't that much, as some guy is handing her $1,000 behind the scenes, right? Isn't that how it works? And then they call her a transaction. She's nothing but a transaction. Ugh. And what happened to Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen? The business transactions of, you know, and we all know what Donald did to Stormy. I mean, he bought himself a woman. He showed how you take a woman and you turn prostitution legal. You can legally deduct prostitution off as a tax business expense by calling her a transaction. That's what he did. Huh? I don't have much more to say. So let's